Can we please invite both Jamie and Nina back onto the stage for a question and answer session? Do we have any from the floor? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Question to Nina about the Ocean Data Platform. I'm just a little bit curious about where you're gathering your data from and how, if it does, how it ties in with REV.
So currently we're working with a lot of data providers worldwide. We're using open, available data sets that are out there, whether it's linked to meteorological data, temperature data, all of those kind of things that we're just sort of sucking out that is already available. But currently we've built the platform around 2 pilot cases, one on illegal fishing and one on MPAs. And here we've been working with Global Fishing Watch that have put together a data set connected to fishing. And we're working with Pristine Seas on the MPA section, IUCN, OBIS, and other data providers in terms of highlighting biodiversity values, where the different endangered species are found, where the current MPAs are located, and trying to use that to illustrate, are they in the right place or should they probably be designated somewhere else? So this is not our own data. It's data that is open and available. We're just bringing it all together, making it accessible. What we'll be working on for the future developments of the platform is obviously opening up closed data sets that aren't available today and bringing that sort of data into the mix so that you get a more complete picture of what is actually happening in the oceans. And future ideal partners obviously are companies like Google. Ideally, we'd like to develop what they've done for Google Earth in a complete Google Ocean, for example. But yeah, those are the sources that we're using currently. And all the data that will be collected on board the vessel will also be integrated into this platform. So all the scientists that are given access to be on board the ship will have to share their data.
Are there any other questions? Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Hannah Tone. I work for EY Sustainability Services. And I would just be interested to hear from your point of views what you see drive corporations in making a difference.
Sure. So we work with a lot of corporations. I'm also serving as head of sustainability for the Global Climate Action Summit, which is coming up in a couple weeks in San Francisco. And there's a big movement to get both nation state and corporations, non-state actors and corporations to make commitments. What I've seen works best, whether you look at any particular industry like airlines or automotive or CPG, is when a leader stands out and makes a massive commitment, it causes everyone to follow. And the leader might not always be the leader that you think they would be. So, you know, one of the most talked about things now tends to be plastic straws, right? And McDonald's came out with a statement that they would remove plastic straws from all of their UK facilities, restaurants. Now, no one predicted that McDonald's was going to make that statement. They also didn't predict that McDonald's was going to agree to set science-based targets as well. So I think, you know, the leaders can come from people that you wouldn't even expect within the corporate space, but when those announcements and commitments are made, it does cause a ripple effect. And the straw announcement, if you look at the press release, it says they made the decision because consumers were demanding it.
I think the engagement and commitment is stemming from a combination of increased awareness and knowledge that is available, but also an increasing demand from the general public that certain types of behavior is just totally unacceptable. You're also having the finance community increasingly setting the bar higher for the companies that they invest in, which obviously puts the pressure on. Now, I think there are huge variations between different companies in terms of how serious they actually take it. Some use it as greenwashing and just polishing themselves, saying that they're sustainable or abiding by the sustainable development goals, but in essence, they haven't changed a thing. Then you have other businesses like, for example, Aker BioMarine, who's also here, who have integrated sustainability into the core of their business. They wouldn't be in operation otherwise. So it's wide spectrum.
Okay. We have time for one more question, if there's any.
Yeah, so my question is, I mean, I do see, at least within the developed parts of the world, sustainability has gotten the rise. We see a lot of things happening in that part of the world. But then we look at the developing part of the world, we go towards South Asia, we go towards African countries as well. And we see that there's a huge amount of population and a huge amount of environmental issues that exist. So how is it possible for these new policies being formed in the developed parts of the world to be transformed towards developing parts, which not normally have environment as the major focus, at least for their emerging economies?
So I think we need to work together. One example is I mentor a women-owned business out of Nigeria, and they don't have commercial recycling facilities or pickup hauling in Nigeria. She created an amazing company called Recycle Points, and it's based on providing jobs, good-paying, respectable jobs to a lot of people within different communities, but it's also based on recycling and getting the value for those resources, right? We've now gotten her on the main stage at a venture competition in Los Angeles, another venture competition in London, and so not only is she spreading the fact that this model both works in several different small cities throughout Nigeria, but other countries and other people who have attended those venture competitions where she's raised funds have come up to her and said, can you help us in our country? We're very similar. And so I think the more that we can help spread those ideas, because one solution that works in a city like Oslo, it might not work in Lagos. So I think we need to make sure that we're right-sizing solutions, but sharing that knowledge as much as possible.
In addition, I would say that environment and development are, from my perspective, two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other, which is why I think increasingly governments in their development aid, for example, need to focus on environment and sustainability issues because it's so essential for survival, for health, for food production, for everything that really matters. Secondly, we need to make businesses understand the business opportunities that exist in solving these problems all over the world. So not just developing business opportunities in the developed world, but also doing it in the developing world. And that, in particular, one of my key passions at the moment is, of course, setting up waste management facilities and getting a plastics economy going so that we can get rid of all the incredible waste that is killing also millions of people.
Thank you so much, both Nina as well as Jamie, for your talk and for answering the questions and answers. And this concludes our Planet session for the morning. Thank you so much for listening.